All right, in this episode of Bouts Talking Bouts, posted up at Destiny Wrestling. It was a great show at Don Kolov Arena, and I'm joined by Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander. How's it going, man?
Good. I'm a little sore, Just had a main event against Mustache Mountain, but, I'll live to fight another day.
And that was an absolute barn burner. I thought that was the match of the night, and just, four excellent talent in there. What's it like being in there with talent of that caliber? Does it help you level up in your own right?
I mean, I've always been a guy, trial by fire is the best thing. Even when I was coming up, before I had a lot of experience, and, I've been wrestling for 14 years. I've had over probably 200 matches against Michael Elgin himself, you know what I mean? So when I get in there with guys, Destiny is one of the only places I can see in the world where you'd see contracted WWE talent against contracted Impact talent. On the same show, we had AEW talent against Impact talent. You have an amalgamation of all these companies and people that are contracted elsewhere that would never cross paths, and happens here tonight. And I'm just blessed to be able to be in this position, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you mentioned Michael Elgin. He had quite the impassioned, earnest speech at the end of things. So what did that mean to you for him to be, articulating that to the audience there?
I kind of say that stuff every month, month in, month out. I've made it, I was stuck in Canada for a long time. I had visa issues before Impact signed me and got me a visa for the States, and so I could travel the world and do what I love. But, before then, I just made it my goal to put Canadian wrestling back on the map, because you think back in the day, the 80s, it was Dynamite Kid, Davey Boy Smith, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, all these people coming out of the dungeon. If you wanted the best wrestlers in the world, you go to Alberta, you go to Calgary. In that dungeon, the best would come out. And for some reason, it fell off, and then it came up a little bit more when you had the Jericho era and the Lance Storms, and then the Edge and the Christian and all these people, and then it died off again for 20 years. And now, hopefully with the work of myself and Michael Elgin, we can put Canadian wrestling back on the map. So he just reiterated that for everybody, and I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And not the first time you've been to Don Kolov Arena. I saw you wrestle Kevin Blackwood at that Explosion tapings a little while ago, and it seems like the crowd really receptive to you and everything. What are your thoughts on the Mississauga crowd and how raucous they get out there?
I love it here. This is my home promotion, my home crowd. I came back from a neck injury, I think 3 or 4 years ago now, and I thought my career was over, and I was lucky enough to be able to come back, and it kind of gave me new life. I got by strictly on my talent before, and I didn't try as hard or apply myself as hard as in everything I could. I was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm not going to try so hard, so if I fail, I'll have an excuse. Now I came back with a new lease on my career, and I just went full bore 120 miles an hour straight ahead, and Mississauga was the first place, Destiny was the first place that gave me a chance to show what I can do. And I told George, the promoter for Destiny, I was give me the ball, I won't drop it. I never will. And it's been a 2-year run now of just crazy matches. He's put me in there with the best in the world, and the crowd gets to see it, and I'm just showing I can hang with him, man. It's the best.
And I think one of the cool things about this week, too, is it just shows how healthy and vibrant the Ontario indie scene is altogether. And I've been a fan of Ontario indies for over a decade now, so it's been really cool to see on my end of things. Can you speak to just how vibrant not just the indie scene is, but on a more localized level, what the Ontario indie scene has been doing?
Ontario, to me, I've been all across Canada. I think Ontario is the hub for real, the best independent wrestling. There's independent wrestling all over the place, but there's nothing like here. I could count on one hand 10 promotions that are just putting on some insane main events week in, week out. You can find a show anywhere around the GTA, and some of the best people from around the world. And this is the place where I came up, and I was able to test myself against the Kevin Steens and the Sami Zayns and all these people that are out in WWE now making their hundreds of thousands of dollars. But they made me a better wrestler because I'm from here, and now I'm going to carry that forward and pass it on to the next generation, right? So.
And today was an absolutely stacked show. You mentioned Mustache Mountain and just a litany of names, but it really seemed like you were the big name. People were even chanting Walking Weapon before the show got going. How important is it to you to, have that, kind of reaction and everything like that, and for people to be so vested in you, especially when you consider all the talent that was on the card as well?
It's nice. I can't say it was anything I'd ever expect, but my philosophy's always been where there's 550, 500 in the crowd. I say it all the time. Elgin kind of stole that tonight from me. You're going to get the same Josh Alexander every single show, and tonight was no different. We had a great crowd, and Destiny didn't always start with crowds this size, and it's built its way up, and we're fortunate enough to where now I can say I'm giving 120% for the best crowd in all of Ontario. So, it's just with Mustache Mountain, they apply themselves the same way. We take this seriously. This is our full-time job. We want to make sure everybody gets their money's worth. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for fans of Josh Alexander, what can people expect, in terms of promotions you're going to be working for, people you're going to be working against? What's on the horizon for Walking Weapon?
I got 2.5 years left with Impact Wrestling on my first contract, and they allow me to get third-party bookings anywhere I want. I'm not going to leave Ontario behind. I'm not going to leave Canadian wrestling behind. That's been my brand, and it's going to continue to be my brand. So you're going to see me at Destiny. You're going to see me at Alpha One. You're going to see me at C4. You're going to see me at other places across Canada, but I'm also going to travel the world. Japan is in my sights, and that's just been a place I've always wanted to go, and I'm not going to let it not happen. So that's the one goal I have still on my bucket list. So.
Yeah, you've been great with the time though, man. Like a crazy match out there and everything like that. You probably want to get off to your family too. So anything you want to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping things up here though?
No, just thanks to everybody for the support. Always, follow me on Twitter or Instagram. It's walking_weapon, and just please support those 7 letters, Destiny Wrestling, because they put on the best stuff in pretty much the world for an independent promotion. They pull off stuff that I've never seen, so it's a cool spot.
Well said. Thanks for the time, Josh, and you enjoy the rest of your night too, man.
Hey, man, thank you.